everybody, welcome back to Vegas Tips and Tricks for Saturday, December 7th, 2019. Every week on this show, we bring you the biggest Vegas news, the best Vegas tips. We talk about the amazing casino resorts all over Las Vegas. But before we get started, just a little housekeeping. It has been a really eventful week in the Vegas Tips and Tricks universe. Part of it you may have seen if you're one of those folks who joined us on the live stream Wednesday night. I didn't really publicize it because we didn't really talk about anything. It was mostly just to see how well it would work. And mostly, from what I gathered from the people that I talked to, it was a pretty successful test. We will be doing some more live streams from time to time. I'm planning, it's not set in stone yet, to do one towards the end of this month where we will talk about the favorites of Las Vegas. I've been doing polls in the Facebook group for the last several months about what people like best in Las Vegas. And so I thought we'd do kind of a year-end show. I didn't want to call it the best of, because honestly, none of us really know what the best of anything is unless we've tried everything. And I've tried a few things, but I don't know what the best is. I know what my favorites are, and I know what your favorites are. We're going to talk about that. So we had the live stream. That went well. So I got a lot of good feedback on the changes in the format, so thank you for that. Hopefully going forward it will continue to be a positive. Speaking of things which should continue to be a positive going forward, we have two new pieces of equipment that we're going to be using on the next Vegas trip. Our beloved Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge finally was at the point where it just wasn't functioning anymore. The connections were shot. It wouldn't charge, it wouldn't stay charged. It had become a liability and I had to upgrade. Had an opportunity to do that, so now we're sporting the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which has an amazing camera, an amazing amount of onboard storage, which is also really good for vlogging and for holding on to videos. So I'm excited to use that. I haven't even really touched the surface of what the camera can do, but it's really quite impressive. But that's not all. I've been on a spending spree. It's not because I'm rich. Actually, I've just gotten some good deals. We also got the GoPro Hero 7. Hey, can we get one of those, thumbnails? There you go. The GoPro Hero 7, got a great deal on that. And again, haven't even really started to dig into what it can do, but I know some of my favorite vloggers, Good Times Production uses that pretty much exclusively. I know Hog and 2 Cent use it quite extensively on their vlogs as well. And I'm really planning to use it mostly when I'm sort of walking around Las Vegas, showing you the sights, showing you around. And I'm working on some plans to do a number of those walkabouts, I'm going to call them, for the next trip. So I think the GoPro is going to be a great addition. I hope it will improve the audio and video quality of this channel. Looking forward to that. Now that we've taken care of the housekeeping, it's time for the news. Okay, there was not a tremendous amount of news this week in Las Vegas. They did finalize the sale of the Rio, but big deal. We knew that was going to happen. We got a lot of cowboys in town. You're in town this week. Yeah, there you go. Hope you like country and Western music. I've been, keeping up on all the vlogs and everything. But the thing I picked up on in the last couple of days was a news story that was run on Channel 3 in Las Vegas, so I wanted to make sure I credited them. They did an interview that I'm currently referencing, I'm looking at it right here, with Scott Sabella, who's the president of Resorts World. And if you're not really familiar with it, I'm sure you probably are, Resorts World is going up on the site of what was the Stardust and was supposed to be Echelon, a site which sat really sadly empty for nearly a decade. But now it's really taking shape. We'd hoped that we would be seeing an opening to Resorts World sometime next year, but it has been pushed back. It's going to be sometime in the middle of 2021. But Sabella had a number of interesting comments. He said it's being pushed back because they're expanding some convention space, they're adding some luxury suites, they're adding a 5,000 seat theater, which which of course is a pretty good sized theater for concerts and shows and such. I don't know if that's really true. Maybe it's just taking longer. This is a $4.3 billion project. Okay, and just to put that in perspective, all of City Center was a $9.2 billion project, which is the largest private project ever in world history, I believe. So, I mean, this is an expensive operation. Originally, if you remember when it was announced, it was supposed to have this sort of really deep Asian theme. Well, most all of that has gone away. There's not going to be any Great Wall of China. There's not going to be a panda exhibit. In fact, it's been scaled back a number of different times or reimagined a number of different times. They're not even using the full 88-acre site that they have. There's about a third of it that, you know, still can go forward with future development. But regardless, I mean, you're going to have 2 towers, 68 stories, a total of 3,500 rooms on site. And you know it's going to be a pretty upscale, pretty expensive place because nobody ever opens a new budget hotel. Budget hotels are what happen to luxury hotels when they get older. I mean, it's still supposedly going to have an Asian theme of some sort, or Asian touches. It looks like the pool is going to be pretty impressive. It's going to be on like a deck, sort of facing above one of the entrances. I would probably compare it maybe to the pool at Cosmo, that sort of concept. There are 2,000 people working at this site, and obviously they're going to have a job for at least another 18 months or so. The interview did point out that could be advantageous because by the middle of 2021 we could also be looking at an opening of the expanded Las Vegas Convention Center. You will likely have seen major improvements, changes, whatever you want to call them, at Circus Circus with Phil Ruffin taking over there. He's already talked about some things he wants to do. And you would theoretically at least be approaching the opening of the Drew as well, just up the street. I, for one, am really excited to see something happening on the north end of the Strip. When I first went to Las Vegas, I spent a lot of time up there, places like Riviera and Westward Ho and Stardust and Sahara, and it's because they were cheap places to stay. I was poor. So, you know, I was glad to get a room someplace, and did on many occasions for like $25, $30 a night. The Stardust, you know, all those places, and there's been nothing there for the better part of a decade, and it's been kind of sad. So I'm looking forward to 2021, 2022. Wish it was coming a little sooner, but looking forward to seeing something new up there. And Resorts World looks like it's going to be a beautiful facility. So anyway, that's our news story of the week. Wanted to talk a little bit about Resorts World, as I think it's worth mentioning, and I think it's going to be something really exciting coming forward on the Strip. And now it's time for the Vegas Viewer Tip of the Week. Yeah, this week I actually got a Vegas tip. I had a viewer email me. I think he did it somewhat tongue-in-cheek, wondering if I'd actually use it, but I'm going to use it. Now I'm going to have to refer to my screen here to pick up on this. This comes from Duder Kisilowski. I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He has his own channel, I believe. He signed his email Water, Wilds, and Weeds. So I don't know if that's his YouTube channel. If you're watching this, Duder, please, you know, link to your channel down below. I didn't really have a chance to go check that out. But his tip is a really simple one, and one I've heard but I've never really talked about on the show. You get to Las Vegas with your buddies, you're going to party, you're going to have some drinking and hanging out, sometimes in the room even, and you get there and there's no fridge. Or there's a fridge, but it's one of those fridges full of $10 beers and $30 bottles of wine. What to do? What to do? Excuse me. You don't burp. No. A hotel provides ice. They've got a lot of ice. Take a grocery bag, take a trash can, take whatever you can, fill it up with ice, dump it in the sink in the bathroom. You could dump it in one of the trash cans. If you're really crazy, and he didn't even say this, you could dump it in the bathtub. Instant cooler. You're all set. Like I said, the ice is free. If they had a fridge, they'd probably be charging you for it under the table. but you can do it this way. How about that? Yeah, there you go. Great way to keep your alcohol or your sodas and such waters and such things cold when you're not around. And when the ice melts, you just get more because it's free. So thanks to Duder for this week's Vegas tip or trick of the week. He will be entered to win a great prize, which I will announce when there is one and when we have more entries. If you want to be featured on the next episode of Vegas Tips and Tricks, please send your Vegas tip or trick to jrswift@vegastipstricks.com, and if I like it, I'll read it on the show. All right, enough with the Vegas tip or trick of the week. It's time for our weekly hotel casino profile. This week I'm going to talk about the Flamingo, the Flaming O, the original, sort of, Las Vegas resort. You know, one of those places everybody knows about even if they've never been to Las Vegas. Flamingo's been there since, what, 46, 47. It's got the whole Bugsy Siegel, Meyer Lansky, mobs and pools and showgirls, and you know, there's a lot of history here, although there's not really any history left. If you really hope, if you came here from the past to see the Flamingo, there wouldn't be anything there that you would remember from its original opening, because it's basically all gone. I think there's a little plaque somewhere out in the wildlife habitat as you head towards the pool that marks the spot of Bugsy Siegel's suite or bungalow or something. But it's all been changed. It's been through a number of ownership changes, of course. It was a Flamingo Hilton for a while. Now it's part of the massive Caesars empire. The Flamingo is both loved and hated by many. And I kind of fall into the both category. This is, I think, just a working class hotel. It feels like it would make more sense if it were downtown, because that's the kind of people you see here. And I don't mean to denigrate those people, but this is a down market casino. It's cheap. It really is. And you see people here that you would not see at the Wynn. And some of them hang out at the pool. It's quite a raucous pool. It's a nice pool. It can get a little out of control. So it may not be the pool for you, but it's a beautiful setting. The wildlife habitat is beautiful. And the hotel does have that sort of charm. It's still got the great neon sign out front. And, you know, as I mentioned, it is very inexpensive. You know, I like the casino. I've had reasonably good luck there and enjoy playing there. You've got the Bugsy's Bar, which is fairly nice, just to hang out and play some bid poker. Or if you'd like to meet a lady of the evening, they'll probably introduce themselves there. You've got the Margarita, it used to be the Margaritaville Casino, but it's attached to the Margaritaville restaurant. You got a great deal at the Bird Bar, like I think it's like 50-cent beers for an hour a day, so I'm sure that gets pretty crazy. But again, it's a discount property. The buffet gets a lot of slack. I went there for brunch a few years ago. It was fine. You know, it's hard to mess up breakfast. You can sit there and look out on flamingos. You can't do that everywhere. The rooms are not bad. Most, I think, now have probably been remodeled. If you can get one of the new Flamingo rooms, they're pretty much brand new just in the last couple of years, and they're very nice. I mean, I did a room video. You can check it out. It's not that far down the road of videos that I've done, and I enjoyed it there. It's fine. The elevators can be a little slow. It can be crowded. It's not the best, okay? But you're not paying for the best either. And it's a very, very good location. You're right next door to the Cromwell, so if you want to stay in a budget property and gamble in a much more luxurious property, I mean, it's like 20 steps out the door. You're right next to the Link Promenade, so you've got access to a lot of attractions, a lot of restaurants, and well, a lot of hotels as well, really. The Link is right there, Harris is right there. So, I mean, it is a great location, and it's a nice big pool, and I can't say a lot of bad things about it, but I can't say all that many good things about it either. It's just a middle-of-the-road property. It's a place you go because you just want a place to crash, and that's what you can afford. Kind of like the north end of the Strip used to be. So there you go. Like I said, I can't really name a notable restaurant. Donnie and Marie used to be here, but they're not there anymore. They're going to have Paula Abdul. They're going to have some kind of a drag show with RuPaul. That's interesting to you. They are remodeling the whole steakhouse area. There was a little snack bar there. There was a diamond lounge. So that's going to turn into something, maybe a new steakhouse of some sort. That could be interesting. Carlos and Charlie's has a sort of fun vibe if you're into that, just hanging out. And like I said, it's just that kind of a place. So I totally would have no problem recommending it if I know you and I know what you are comfortable with. But it's, and of course you got to walk through because everybody walks through. So if you're looking for inexpensive accommodations, inexpensive drinks, and just a great location to hang out, you don't mind the Walmart crowd that's going to be hanging out with you, then the Flamingo might be just right for you. Well, I think we've gone pretty long today, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much again for watching, for subscribing, for being part of the Vegas Tips and Tricks universe. So until next week, I hope that you have a great and lucky week. We will. See you soon.